Topic: Deyhatan by Jasmine Safdar. On seeing me for the very first time as a girl of 13 with two braids and a small umbrella frock, my fiance had told his mother, "ये तो बिल्कुल देहातन है." She is a peasant. 6 years later, when we finally met in the family court, he was heard saying, "Jasmine does what she intends to do." Yes, I said to the magistrate, what I had done for my family by staying with my parents and by helping my brother with his studies was appreciated by my husband. In recognition, I am given this divorce certificate. यही काम जब एक लड़का करता है तो फर्माबरदार, खिदमतगुजार कहा जाता है. What was my fault? Only that I had refused to leave my parents until my only brother could stand on his own feet. I had refused matrimonial obligation before I would turn 18. I had asked both my parents and in-laws to let me continue my studies, promising them that I would pay for my studies. This is my life story. In the late 60s, we did not have much exposure to the outside world. We finally got a black and white TV in the early 70s. I still remember walking through the narrow lanes of Buns Road as we lived just across SM Law College. Morning time was fun, watching students flooding the streets, and there were several other colleges in the vicinity too. My mom, dad, brother, and I stayed happily in Shafkat House, a three-bedroom apartment bought against a pugri. The walls were painted a dark green with blue borders, and the mosaic floor resembled a chessboard. My father, who was posted as second officer at a Jodia Bazar bank branch, then would walk home daily with groceries and other things, as my mom never stepped into the Burns Road Bazaar, which according to our friends was heaven because of what could be bought there from fruits to veggies to dahi bale to fidneys. Papa was a simple matriculate, a migrant from Mumbai, India. One day my uncle and aunt walked into our house with a box of sweets from Fresco. It was for my rishta. As Papa entered the house, we could sense a pulled down face, as that day, out of the blue, he had had an argument with his boss and had resigned. While mother was on cloud nine, Papa contemplated how he would manage in the future. Most Fridays after school, I would join mom, who used to have her afternoon tea on the balcony. Adjacent to ours was the balcony of a Maiman family, whose married daughter, Bilkis, would visit her parents on weekends. I still remember how she would talk about the latest movies that she had seen, which she called film. Not only dialogues, even the songs and dresses were discussed in detail. At times, Saturdays were spent watching Urdu movies in the cinema halls, Bambino and Scala, and later Nas, Nishat, Khayyam, and others. Later, these cinema houses in Karachi were turned into shopping plazas. Papa preferred the 6 to 9 slot for movies. Mostly bookings were made a week ahead. We would wait impatiently for the week to go by so that we could go to the movies. I told my parents I would leave school and sit for my matric exam as a private candidate the same year. Skipping class 8, my rishta had given me 4 years before my marriage so that I may graduate and my brother could also complete his schooling. Soon came the day when I gave my last matric paper. I had taken 10 subjects in a row. With some help from a lady teacher, Papa was now reinstated. He was promoted to manager and was given a car. We shifted to depot lines next to my school, which now was called Nasra School. Things had started to fall in place. The new apartments were spacious, and now we had a fridge and also a black and white TV. I enrolled at the Appa Center to learn cutting, stitching in the afternoon, while my mornings were spent in a beautician course. In our neighborhood, girls older than me still studied or worked. Half of them were working in one office or another, and the rest taught in schools or were librarians in some colleges. Till then, I never knew such jobs existed. At the parlor, I learned that running a salon was like minting money. I was sensible enough to know that a life partner needs to be loyal, compatible, and financially stable. I wanted to be independent and break this shackle of marriage. Finally, we separated. I returned to my parents' house to complete my diploma in the beautician course, affiliated with School of Beauticians, London, while simultaneously sitting for my BA exam. I also started teaching at Nasra School in the mornings while contributing articles on hair and beauty to the Sunday editions of English and Gujarati newspapers. And Urdu Daily went a step ahead and assigned me the editorship of the women's page on Fridays. I had a vision of opening a salon and maintaining a good clientele. The very first thing I did was that instead of going for any rental place, I opted for using a room at my own apartment. Not only rent and commuting fare were saved, but my clients found it safer to come to a house instead of a shop. Luckily, the owner of two parlors at that time wanted to close down her newly opened business after only 6 months, and hence I was able to purchase all the slimming equipment from her which she had got from London. I had to borrow money from my father. I had started on 2nd December, and on the night of the 31st, my mom counted the 5,000 rupees which I returned to my papa. And it's anybody's guess how happy and relieved they were and how many tears, khushi ke aansu, were shed. Now, around 4 decades down the line, when I look back, I wonder, had it not been for my exposure to people around, would I have been able to learn so many crafts? If it had not been for my father who gave me his confidence, trust, and a loan to move ahead in life, would I have had Jasmine Beauty Parlor in the mid 70s, where scores of women came for beauty treatment?